Riddell, do you have anything?
I would just like to say that I agree with the majority of the comments that were made, and I've lived here for over 50 years. I think that includes me as having a stake in the community. And anybody looking at my past record on the Montero board, for anybody to even imply that I want to go back to the way it was, when I was on the Montero board, we gave Half Moon Bay written notice that if they didn't clean up their act, we were going somewhere else. So I think I've been very consistent as a board member, and when I perceive a problem that can't be resolved, that if what it takes is to go in a different direction to provide the services that this community deserves, I'm willing to go that extra mile. And obviously, if you think that my decision is arbitrary, there again, I'll just point back to the record when I was on the Montero board. Was my decision arbitrary? Look what happened. The department disintegrated to a point where they went to CAL FIRE. So it wasn't just my opinion that things were wrong. And I'd just like to say some of the things that were presented, they're good points. There were reasons why Fire Marshal wasn't included, but we're in the process now of going with an RFP with another agency to share services, which will reduce costs to this community. Because that's kind of the way of the world, because of the way what's happened with the economy. It's, you know, organizations are working together to lower costs that are mutually beneficial to both agencies. So I think we're going to see more and more of that in the future. Fire Marshal Services is just one of them. We have opportunities, training, HR, probably joint purchasing. I mean, there's a list of things that are available for this district to look at for potential savings for the taxpayer. And there again, I have elderly parents that live here. If you really think that I'm going to up their taxes to do what I want to do, you're sorely mistaken. If we can't operate within the finances that we have, then I'll tell you right now, it's not doable. But I think I have an obligation to look because of what has happened. And maybe there is a lot of confusion out there about what's going on, but, and I'll tell you right now, the civil grand jury added to that confusion. They left out all the information that I gave them, and you have to ask the question, why? Because I left them with the same thing I left you at the last board meeting. Don't take my word for anything. Everything I've told you is public record. You can verify everything I've told you without listening to me. But they chose to leave that information out anyway. So if anybody wants to know why, I'm willing to tell you. And it's not arbitrary. It's basic fundamentals of fire protection, of protection of life and property. And that's all I have to say.